Me, my ex-wife call her X, my neighbor. My neighbor's wife call her M. Me and my wife married in 2009. We had our baby in 2010. In Nov, 2010 while she was asleep, a message pooped on her phone and was a flirty message. I checked on her phone and it was from our neighbor. I went through every single message, which included sexting, sharing nudes, and even had planned meetups at hotels. This was going on from the first week into our marriage. I felt like my world crumbled in front of me. I took screenshots of every message and saved on my phone. Next day I contacted M and let her know about the affair. They were married for 4 years and had their first baby almost exact same time as we had ours. I confronted my wife and told her that I am going to give her divorce. She started crying and everything else, but I did not consider it. I also did paternity test on our child because the affair timeline was same as conception date. After 2 days, when I come home from work, our baby was crying in our bed and X was nowhere to be seen. Then I found a letter of her telling that she did not love me and she had left with AP and to not contact them. I knew this was coming, but I didn't believe that a mother can leave her child alone and can run off with her lover. I then went to M's house. She had received same letter by her husband. I felt sorry for her as she was going from postpartum depression, had her baby just a few months ago and was left alone. Also, paternity test result came back and he was my son. I tried to contact X family, but they also didn't know where she was and was shocked by her behavior. Her father even said that if she ever came back she would not be allowed to enter their house. They basically disowned her. L was very supportive. She began coming to my home to watch kids and even breastfed both of them. As time passed, we were like family. My son called her mom and had known only her as mom. We also decided to go on dates. We engaged a year later and married in 2013. We had our first child in 2015. We often discussed things about our exes and how we were often disrespected by them. We were happy family. In 2018, when my son accidentally saw a picture of my ex, so we decided to tell him that her birth mother X had died in car accident years ago and L took care of him since he was 6 months old. 2 days ago, I received an anonymous email. I opened it and it read, "I want to see my son and want my family back. We are not divorced yet." I knew it was X. I showed this to LL, started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. I calmed her down and told her that she was an ugly past and I would never leave you. I would never take her back. Now I am confused what to do. I will definitely not take her back, but should I let her meet my son or not? Should I take my son's opportunity to have connection with her birth mother? Story 2. X texted me out of the blue almost a year after breakup. Our breakup was really tough last September. After a year and a half of dating and going through the motions of planning a very real future together, she dropped me like a sack of shit and treated me awfully on the few brief interactions we had during and after the breakup. I felt like a total write-off. I decided to work through it and mourn the best I could, try to improve myself to recover. I quit drinking alcohol entirely, got in great shape, rebounded from the loss of a great job, and though I'm not dating, I feel like I've grown considerably. Just trying to focus on being patient, grateful, and a bit more in tune with my spirituality. It hasn't been perfect, but I think I'm doing okay, all things considered, especially coming out of the pandemic winter and dealing with the untimely death of a very dear friend at the same time. Last week, out of the blue, my ex texted me and told me she'd been thinking of me. She was acting as if nothing had ever happened and being very nice. I was thrilled to hear from her and had a brief exchange of a few messages. I ended up telling her if she could get free and wanted to catch up, she should let me know. It'd be great to see her. She said something along the lines of she definitely would. A few days later, I sent her a little conversation starter text. Nothing too important. What did I get in return? Silence. Nothing. Boy, that hurt at first. I was so disappointed. It took me about 24 hours of feeling bummed and anxious to actually realize that this was not my fault. She was showing me who she was and that she was careless. She hadn't reached out to me for me. She'd done it for her. She's probably trying to make herself feel better about something else going on in her life and falling back on the guy who she left for some kind of validation. I finally got a simple reply from her a few days later, something that took probably 5 seconds to type and send. Instead of feeling elated when I saw it, I felt almost nothing. She gave me the gift of showing me the truth. She's not the wonderful person I thought she was, and this wasn't something I could beat myself up for. She's just another person who is flawed and inconsistent. Exactly the kind of person I've learned to recognize and distance myself from. She will get a thank you from me in the form of being left unanswered. There's nothing to say. There's literally no reason to catch up, meet, or even speak to each other again. I'm finally free. I've moved on, And I've learned so much about showing myself love through better choices since everything fell apart with her. Today is a good day. Wherever you are in your breakup, hang in there. Everyone heals on their own time. Pain is such a catalyst for growth. Use it the best you can, a little bit at a time.